Hello, my name is MJ, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Finding Flow, the Psychology of Engagement with Everyday Life by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. In this book, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi is asking us to evaluate our lives and think carefully about how we are spending our time. Are we spending our time on moments that engage us, or are we simply allowing life's inertia to pull us along from activity to activity? He identifies a state called flow, one of optimal focus. Hopefully you've had this before, where you are optimally challenged, there are clear goals, there's clear feedback about how you are progressing towards your goals, and you're completely absorbed in the process and the activity that you are doing. There's no space for your mind to be thinking about other things. You are in the moment. And these moments of flow are really important for humans because they fight against the inertia of life pulling us along. And the inertia of life pulls us towards entropy. It doesn't create order, it allows more disorder. And what Csikszentmihalyi is asking us to do is think critically about how we are spending our time. Yes, we can't spend every moment of our lives in flow, but we can think carefully about how we are spending our time and try to create more moments of flow in our lives. He speaks about the paradox of work and how often work is a place where we experience more flow than we do in other parts of our lives. We hopefully have clear goals and feedback about how we are progressing towards our goals. We have a fair amount of autonomy about how we can try and achieve these goals. Hopefully the challenges are optimally challenging for us, so they're not too hard or too difficult. And although parts of our day won't have flow in them, hopefully at work we're able to find more of this flow. But yet work in our society often has quite a negative connotation. It's something to be gotten through rather than enjoyed. In contrast to that, people tend to view leisure time as one of real fulfillment and enjoyment. But unless we are very careful about how we spend our leisure time, it can be times where there is very little flow. Csikszentmihalyi identifies active and passive leisure. So active leisure is when we are engaged in the process, where we are fully focused on our leisure activity. So for me, that might be hiking. There's a clear goal when I'm hiking. I know that I want to get to the top of the hill. It's hopefully an optimally challenging hike for me. There's clear feedback about how I'm progressing towards that goal, and it's very easy for me to get into that zone and to not have other worries bothering me as I hike. Same with gardening. I'm clear about where I need to weed, and I have a clear objective about weeding this area here, and I get feedback every time I pull up a weed. I'm progressing towards my goal, and so it's quite easy to again focus the mind. Hopefully you have these sorts of experiences. Perhaps if you're playing piano, you get a clear feedback whether you press the right note or the wrong note. Maybe playing tennis, you either get the ball over the net or you don't get the ball over the net, and this simplification of our focus is really key. And he contrasts this active leisure with passive leisure. And TV is a brilliant example of something that's quite passive. It requires no skill from us. There's no goal. There's no feedback about how we are progressing to our goal. It's simply a way to spend our time rather than being something in which we are actively engaged. That said, of course, there are some television shows which might kind of activate us into active leisure. But by and large, a lot of what kind of TV watching and things like that do is just give us passive leisure. The reality in our society is that we have this clear division between work and leisure, but it's not that way in other societies, and it hasn't always been that way through human evolution. Through much of human evolution, there wasn't a clear divide between work and play. You'd kind of do them together with each other. And it wasn't this case that children got to play and grown-ups went to work, as it is in our society. You didn't turn 18 or 21 and suddenly be given a responsibility to contribute to society. know, from a young age you're expected to contribute at a level that is optimally challenging for you. And so children in these societies are able to experience flow in work and find that work can actually be rewarding to contribute to, because you are constantly pushing yourself to the limits of your skill and ability, and hopefully growing over time and taking on more and more complex tasks and finding new goals to try and achieve. I find children to be really good at seeking out flow. If I'm on a walk with one of my children, there's the easy path to get to where we're going, and my children almost invariably choose the slightly harder way of getting there, up the slope, around the trees, simply because they're looking to be optimally challenged. And I'd say, as a parent, one of the things that I try and do is try and provide my children with as much flow as possible. All they want is to be able to get absorbed into what they're doing and explore and find ways of being challenged and growing their skills. There's a type of personality that Csikszentmihalyi identifies called autotelic, and this is someone who does things for their own sake. They are not motivated externally by something else to try and get them to do what they want to do. They feel like what they are doing is rewarding in and of itself. And these sorts of people have more flow experiences and find life more meaningful and enjoyable. I'd really recommend Finding Flow. It's a really simple book in terms of its arguments, and not very thick and relatively easy to get through. If you're interested in trying to find meaning in life and enjoy every day and try to make the most of it, I highly recommend Finding Flow. If you've read it or if you have any comments about Finding Flow, please let me know in the comments. Alright, bye for now.